There is a glitch in the system where we are looking to create a solution between Israel and Palestine, but we're not going to find any solution ever because they're the same thing. Israel is the same thing as Palestine. Ancient Israel lived for 1,000 years. For 1,000 years, there was the First Temple and Second Temple period. After this, the Romans renamed the land Palestine, Syria, Palestina, in order to disassociate Israel from the land because they wanted to conquer it and make it part of their Roman Empire. So they specifically chose the name of the Philistines, a people who lived right along the coast in the Gaza area, who were really Egyptian in their race and had lived in Crete for many years and had came from there. Philistine means invader in Hebrew, but they used this name in order to disassociate it from Israel. And so it's a colonial name, Palestine. It's a Roman colonial name for Israel, which is the land of Israel, Eretz Israel, which is all throughout the Bible, also known as the Holy Land, also known as the Promised Land. And this is a specific piece of land that is set apart for the Israelites in the Bible and in history and to all believers. That is just the reality of the history. And so Palestine is a colonial name for the exact same land as Israel. And so it reminds me of this prophecy from Harry Potter, which was one can't exist while the other does. Essentially, Harry and Voldemort can't coexist at the same time. Only one can really exist. And it's the same thing for Israel versus Palestine. Because Israel, the modern state of Israel, is a decolonized nation. It is the ancient indigenous people returning to the land after being exiled and reinstating the land and decolonizing it from the Arabs who colonized the land. Arabs are from Arabia. They colonized wide swaths of the Middle East and Africa and Europe, and they continue to this day through Asia. They're a colonizing people, a colonizing religion, and they spread through whatever. That's just a whole different discussion. But for the land of Israel, it is now called Israel because it has been decolonized from the name Palestine, which was a colonial identity. So really nothing is going to change that. That's really the simple reason why there's no solution being found. Israel, who was largely refugees in 1948 from either Europe or the Middle East or North Africa, wherever the Israelites were kicked out of at that time. This was a World War II time. There were a lot of wars, a lot of fighting, a lot of death, a lot of destruction. And the Jews within that were given the state of Israel in order to be a indigenous people back in its nation. This was decolonization of the land of Israel, which was being run by the British. And before that, the Ottomans, and before that, the Persians and the Greeks, and so many different types of people, including Arabs, who are, again, from Arabia. They're not indigenous to that land. And so giving the land back to Israel was the right thing to do. But it's never going to be that you can cut up the land. The land can't be cut up. This is what we learned. It was offered to be cut up because the Jews were all refugees in 1948, and they said, really, we don't want to go to war. Let's make a deal. And they said yes to the deal. But the Arabs, all of them, came in order to genocide the Jews and the Israelites and destroy them forever. But they failed. They failed and they failed and they failed again in many wars. And October 7th is just a continuation of the same attempt to genocide the Jews and the Israelites. And they failed. And so now, of course, whenever they fail, it's like, oh no, we really just want a little piece here or a piece there, and then we'll eventually conquer the whole thing. But no, everyone's learned now, everyone's smarter now, and no one's falling for it anymore, and no one's interested anymore in splitting the land. The land is the land is the land. It's set apart in the Bible by God. This is God's will, that the land is one piece of land. Now, but the solution is really not far. The solution is right there, because we see in the Bible that 2.5 of the tribes of Israel settled east of the Jordan River. And so a large portion of what is today the Jordan Hashemite kingdom was part of ancient Israel, but it was never part of the classic promised land that is really set apart just for Israelites. It was part of the greater Israel, meaning lands bordering the proper lands of Israel, but that other nations are meant to rule over, but ruling under the umbrella of Israel, who is especially blessed by God and thereby is able to give extra protection. And we see that happening today as well. Israel, even though it was all refugees that came back, has been especially blessed with great intelligence and great success, even though it didn't have oil and it didn't have natural resources. It's been very blessed. And so it's able to have this wonderful defense system and share that with its neighbors who are willing to join in a pact with it, such as we've seen with Egypt today, Jordan today. And that's great. And so today's Jordan is already made up of majority Arabs who lived in the land of Palestine, meaning the land of Israel. It's the same exact thing. And they live in Jordan, and Jordan is the Palestinian state. British Mandate Palestine consisted of both Jordan and Israel, and then it split off Jordan and created the Hashemite kingdom, and then it had Israel and it called it Palestine. But Palestine was always the Jewish homeland for everyone. Everyone knew that. And so they're never going to coexist. They're never going to coexist because Palestine is a colonialist entity, whereas Israel is the indigenous and true nation and people of the land. And we have so much historical record that shows this, whereas there has never been a state called Palestine where Palestine is like the only thing. No, Palestine has been part of Jordan and Syria. It's a whole region. It's a whole Syria-Palestina region. But the nation of Israel and the Jewish people are by far the most connected to the land of Israel for thousands and thousands of years. No other nation has the same claim. That's why it was given the right to exist there. And that's why Palestine and Israel cannot coexist, because one is a backward flip from the other. One is a negation of the other, meaning Israel's existence comes to negate the colonialism that the Romans put in place by kicking out the Jews and slaughtering the Jews and renaming the land, and then other nations coming through and doing the same thing. So Israel is the correction, it's the tikkun of Palestine. And Palestine can't take over Israel because it doesn't make any sense. Palestine was given to the Jews to make a state out of, and it was renamed Israel, and it can't turn back. This is God's will. This is the land of Israel as per the Bible, which is the holiest text by far on the earth, written by God. It's a code. The Bible is a code. The Torah, I'm specifically talking about the Pentateuch, the 5 books of Moses. This is just the way it is. There will not be a two-state solution. There will not be ever again a Palestine in the land of Israel. It doesn't make any sense. Palestine means invaders. It's not the indigenous people. It's the colonialist people. And so Jordan makes sense to be Palestine. That's where the Arabs who were renamed Palestinians live. All the Jews were Palestinians, and the Palestinian freedom movement was about creating Israel. It's become a mess, but let's just call it as it is at this point. They cannot coexist. There cannot be one while the other exists. This has been the greatest decolonization ever in terms of the indigenous Israelites returning to their Holy Land. This will not be undone. The lands will not be split. Forget about the fact that the West Bank is, meaning Judea and Samaria, is a mountain range, and so it will never be safe to give the mountain range over to the people who want to destroy the flatlands area. There will never be safety in that. It's been proven time and time again. So RIP Palestine in the land of Israel, farewell. It was a period. It was a time. And we're not holding it against the Roman people, meaning the Italian people, the Catholic or Christian people. Let bygones be bygones. But there will no longer be a colonization of the land of Israel. The indigenous people have returned, as all of the prophecies foretold, as foretold in the books, the holy texts. And that's that. So farewell, Palestine. You did your thing, and now it is Israel. And Palestine is the land of Jordan. The Hashemite kingdom is now the homeland of what are now known as Palestinians, but are actually simply Arabs of the region.